Well, folks, there you have it. A day in the life of a superhero. It's a very long day. The tights are uncomfortable. A lot of working of villain motifs. Crime as a bossa nova beat. Leap before you look. Remember denouement. Other French words. Inconvenient. Non-essential. Oh, I could go on and on. But times are wasted and evil's out there making a handcrafted mischief for the swap meet of villainy. And you can't strike a good deal with evil, no matter how much you haggle. We don't need to look for a bargain. Goodness is cheap because it's free, and free is as cheap as it gets. All that is to say, welcome to Crafting Chaos. Some episodes you get the craft, others you get the chaos, others you walk away saying, oh, well, okay. But it's not just me keeping you on your toes. No, we have a veritable squad of creative misanthropes. Fellow chaoticians, introduce yourselves.
I'm Pete Wright, and I am a fellow misanthrope.
Misanthrope.
Either for you to say. I am now, but may never be again, Kyle Olson.
At some point, we need to circle back to your name change discussion from last year.
Anyway, on that. But wait, I only see 3 squares on our little screen. Where is the 4th?
Yes, Mandy is on the run from the law. And so she cannot join us. I think while she's on the run, she's also shooting a commercial.
Yeah.
And so she's multi-talented.
Yeah.
And,
in her defense, she is trying to clear her name from being framed by an evil organization. So,
right.
you know, we take the time we can get, but that's really her focus right now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, later, we're each going to take a turn doing the best Mandy. So we'll figure out who could have been the right stand-in.
That won't get us in trouble at all.
No, I don't see any potential.
No problem there.
and I already have the best one in my pocket anyway, so, you know.
You've been practicing.
Nice. Okay. Well, now for this week's theme.
Ooh.
Now, if there are any
Are you going to sing?
Not theme song.
Yeah,
sorry.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. I built up to the wrong thing there.
Man.
Well, if there are any fellow aging nerds out there, you may have recognized our intro as coming from the original 90s cartoon, The Tick, a show that still makes me laugh and that I'm still happy to watch every time, still brings me a lot of joy. The world and most systems we engage with online want us to be outraged 24/7. So in this episode, we will purposely steer away from the outrage and toward pure, unreserved joy. And so we'll start with something that, for most artistic types out there, is often directly tied to that feeling of joy. So I'd like to hear about something you accomplished since our last episode that was creatively satisfying. Doesn't matter how big or small, doesn't matter how important it is or how fleeting it will be. Just want you to share something with us that hit that joy button for you. Kyle, you want to kick us off?
I say Pete is chomping at the bit, so I'm happy to
go
for him.
Yes, do it. It's okay. I can be patient.
So for longtime listeners, you will know that I had a problem with unintentional anonymity on the internet, where I realized that on New Play Exchange, I didn't have any contact information. And so even if someone wanted to do something I had written, they couldn't find me. So I had changed it to my Instagram, but then I sort of realized I needed to move an old project back into heavy rotation. So I have a website. It's just I haven't publicized it because I haven't really done much on it. But now I've started to do more work on it. And, you know, my budget is nothing. So I'm required to hire the worst person for the job, which is me. But in the process, I went through and I actually created a page on my website specifically about plays, and I linked that back to New Play Exchange. So if people want to know more, they can go to there. So my website is called wadeintotheweird.com. And then the new one page I put up is /plays. So I have now put up a list of all the plays. I have the published one, which will take you a link to Geidelman and Good. Shout out to them, who just had their 2-year anniversary. And all the rest of the ones. I have written more than that, but these are the ones I'm willing to say that they're out there and available. There's the other ones that are still in the workshop and not ready to be shown yet. So is it a beautiful webpage? No, but it exists. And that for me was a victory of like, yes, I finally have a thing I can go and point to. And from here, I can make it prettier, because better a rough draft than no draft at all.
Absolutely. You can't edit a blank page.
That's right. So I felt very good about that. Like it was, I did that and I accomplished it. And I was like, that was years coming. And I finally have that as something to start with.
Nice.
I think it's great that you still have the portrait from Toka Hair Salon 3.
Yeah, created by
your
my
daughter put up there.
Yeah.
That is uncanny.
That's what I said too. I was like, she nailed it.
Yep. It has maybe a little more Pennsylvania Dutch than you would intend in real life. But otherwise it's right there.
Well, I have to have some anonymity where I'm out in the world, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
You guys, I'm so excited because I have something that I created in the last week. It's actually taken me months and months and months and months, but I finished it in the last week. That is so wildly unrelated from everything that I do every single day. And I finished it, and I think it is beautiful, and it is my most special thing that I've ever created in the world. And I just want to touch it and hold it. And you're not going to believe that a guy like me is capable of a thing like this. I'm going to show it to the camera, and please tell me what you see.
Oh,
did you make that?
Ryan, did you hear what I just said? I'm so proud of this. You are killing me here, man.
It was either that or ask, where did you buy it?
Of the camera, it's hard to tell if that is woodworking or if that is clay.
I think it's pottery.
You made a pot.
It's a bowl, and I made it. It's wood. It is a camphor burl, and I made it on a lathe, you guys. Real life lathe. Thanks to my neighbor and woodworking artisan, Doug Robeson, who I made the just casual mistake of saying to Doug, man, I spend a lot of time watching woodworking lathe videos, like slow motion lathe videos on YouTube to chill my brain. And he said, I have a lathe and I have some extra wood. Do you want me to teach you how to do it for real? And I said, yes. And we just carved away time out of every other weekend. Sometimes we took month-long breaks, but we would always come back. And this weekend I went over and we finished it, and we removed it from the lathe, and we sanded it real nice. And we both signed it because he's such an able teacher.
Look at that.
And it is, I brought it home, and I was like, to my wife, I was like, look what I made. I felt like I was in the 3rd grade. And I just came home from a craft fair. I haven't felt this exuberant about a crafty thing in a long time, like many decades. I am so proud of this little thing. I'll touch it to my face one more time. I made a bowl, and it triggered something in my brain that I haven't felt in forever. It turns out maybe I kind of like using my hands for stuff.
You should be very proud. Like the fact that you made that, and you actually have something that can be used. There are, like, I can tell for the listeners, there are no holes in that bowl except at the very top. To put
except at the top, there's only the one.
That's right. You can hold things in it.
I made the right hole.
Right. It is functional.
There is something like very powerful about putting work in and then having a physical thing at the end, like a physical, visible result that you can see and touch. I've talked about that with people before about I love what I do, but it is ephemeral. And, and that's one of the reasons, like for authors, like getting your first print book in your hand is such a euphoric feeling. There's something real about like having a physical thing that's proof that you did a thing.
Yeah, like we talked about when I printed out I made books of my scripts, because once again, script is another ephemeral thing that it just lives on, and people throw it away at the end of the play. But when I printed out the books and I could hold them in my hand as a physical thing, it really is a very visceral thing. So yeah, I can understand your pride, and it's well deserved that you made a thing where only existed a dead tree before. now you have something that could last beyond. You could put that in your will.
Oh my God, I'd never even considered. What do you think the value is?
You could
of
bequeath
this
it to
bowl?
someone.
I could bequeath
That is
a bowl.
a one-of-a-kind Pete Wright original.
Bowl bequeathal. The other thing that it reminds me, and this maybe is becoming more important as I age, that it is possible, dare I say probable in the right circumstances,
Dare.
to learn new things.
Wow.
I know. I said it on a podcast.
Yes.
This was extraordinarily fun, but I also know where to start now to do the next thing. And I'm reasonably certain that this will be the worst I ever get at this process of making woodworking. And I really like sitting on the fact that I'll learn new stupid mistakes. I will learn new lessons next time. And I'm really excited about that. I hope he lets me in his garage again.
Well,
I
and
really
I will say,
do.
especially for like a first attempt, that is a nice looking bowl.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man. You know what? Can I just tell you the trick? There's a trick. So I think we were doing it for so long, and he needed his lathe back. So this is what you can't feel is it's very, very heavy. This is a hardy bowl,
Okay.
and the edges look very thin. It looks very dainty, but that's because we pretty much went straight down. In spite of this sexy little curve on the outside, the walls are very thick, and so it is a bowl. It is also a substantial weapon, but it still has a bit of a sexy little daintiness right around the top where it counts. And it's real. I put a bowl. This seems ridiculous that we've spent like 6 minutes on my bowl. But I'm very proud of it, and I'm very happy to know how to lathe stuff now.
Well, this show is about the creative process and creating things. And that doesn't necessarily just have to be a podcast or a script or a book.
Right.
You put your heart and soul into creating something that is one of a kind. That's art.
That is art.
And it's
And-
functional, which is even better.
Yeah.
You can bet your ass I'm going to be writing a detailed scene in my next story involving a character who lathes.
All right. That's great. So yeah, I'll share one. So I'm currently writing in a genre that I have never written. And I'm really enjoying the challenge and the adventure of it. And only a few days ago, I wrote a type of scene I have never written before.
Erotica.
So this book yeah.
Don't jump
talked
to the
about
happy ending. Come on.
I haven't even mentioned how many horses are in the scene, Pete. Come
That's
on.
right.
So this book has a pretty heavy thriller element to it. And so I wrote my very first murder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And that is a particular challenge for me because I don't like nor do I write blood and gore.
Mm-hmm.
And I want this book, like all of my others, to feel accessible to a wide audience. And so the challenge was writing a murder scene that was still scary and visceral without resorting to overly intense imagery or anything like that. And so it became an exercise in how can I apply less is more to this scene. And I'm actually really happy with how it came out. Now, I'm sure in subsequent edits, I'll be able to fine tune. But to attempt what is, kind of people consider kind of a classic type scene, like a thriller murder mystery type scene that I've never done before. And to feel like, oh, yeah, at least for a first pass, I feel like that came out really well. That was a very satisfying thing to sit back and be like, oh, man, I think I did it.
Well, first of all,
outstanding.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
thank you.
Second of all, without spoiling stories, because obviously a murder in a thriller is a pretty important thing. Tell us, can you talk a little bit about what your perspective in writing it was? Like, is this from the point of view of the killer? Is this like from the victim? Is it like you are watching the scene and you're telling us what happened?
Oh, yeah. Did you Lovely Bones it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrifying.
So in most of the deaths in this book, they kind of are discovering the people afterward. So it's like the bodies are found in aftermath. So you're not really getting like the scene where someone like, gets killed, except for the first one, which is meant there's supposed to be like the people in the book are supposed to question after this murder whether it was a pure accident by the person who died or whether there was another party there that did it. And there's a live stream happening, but it actually happens off the camera. There's a whole bunch of elements to it. But so that so far is the only one that it actually occurs while like this camera is live streaming, but it's not in frame. So you have the buildup, you have some stuff you hear off camera, and then the person that dies kind of stumbles back into frame after whatever happened. And it's clear that something has gone horribly wrong, but there's enough of a question of like, was this a tragic accident? Or so it's a bit of it's not really just one thing. You know me, I can't just write one thing. It's not just kind of, I would say it's a fairly atypical death scene. And then most of the ones following it up until kind of some of the climax stuff at the very end is also going to be you're encountering the aftermath. And also part of that, it's a similar challenge with that is like how like conveying imagery that again, scary and visceral, but is not so overblown with like blood and gore or over the top. Cause I don't like that. I don't like reading it. I don't write it. So it's making it feel kind of like an immersive thriller that you're really kind of gripped by, while at the same time not taking it to a level that I don't feel comfortable with. So yeah, it's a very unique challenge.
That's awesome.
So the big question is, did they have it coming?
So
that's okay. You don't have to get into spoilers for the.
Oh no, it's an interesting question, because does that guy in particular, is he likable? No. Does he have it coming? Also, no.
Okay.
So it's kind of one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm just really glad that at least for a first pass, I was like, okay, I'm not embarrassed by that. I think that came out pretty good.
Ooh, it is the ghost of Mandy. Call me. Oh, shoot. I was supposed to do a British voice, right? It's the ghost of Mandy coming in to participate in this podcast. How dare you go on without me? Ooh, sorry. I am grossing myself out with that. Okay. A really cool thing that I got to do this week. Made a big old capitalist dream come true, guys. I don't know how it happened. It really was like I met someone 2 years ago who's like, hey, we should work together sometime. And then even though it's one of the most competitive things on the planet, this lady who I've had coffee with several times, who's a really nice gal, called me up and said, hey, my company's producing a commercial. Would you like to direct? And of course I said, yeah. And she said, can you tell me your quote? And I was like, wait, am I paying you? Yeah, I'm a really good businesswoman. But no, I directed a commercial. It was very exciting. And on top of that, because I'm clever, they needed a dog in the commercial and I hired my dog. Now, here's the real moment of truth though. When you say things like, oh, you want the dog to cock their head and kind of perk up their ears because they're watching a soccer game. We called it football, guys, because I'm in London. But you want my dog to do that? Sure, I can make her do that. Yeah, I've never done that with my dog before, but I had a hunch based on my years of experience with animals. I had a cat named Paiwaka when I was 3. Anyway, I asked the producers to bring a harmonica, set up the shot, and crossed my fingers, and when the moment came, I blew into that harmonica, and my dog perked up her ears and cocked her head. Now, I realize I've just given away a secret sauce to a lot of directors out there, and I don't mind. And that was my small victory. That was actually a very big, fun victory this week.
Okay, I think it may be time for our first ad break.
The world today demands so much from us. Our attention, our outrage, our time. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Brevity.
Oh, wow. Oh, we're back. Okay. All right.
You know what? I love it when Universal Concept sponsors the show. It's the best.
Yeah, I know,
Nice.
me too.
Yeah, and they lived up to their Hype.
They
That was
did.
like
It was really
14
on brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on a deal with Ego for next week. So
Ooh, very
that'll be-
nice.
yeah. Right.
Well, I mean,
those
We'll see if they
negotiations
sign
must
the
be fun.
contract.
so we've had ennui, and now we have
Uh-huh.
brevity.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah,
Maybe,
thank you, Brevity.
maybe all the human
guess.
conditions will one day advertise here.
Oh wow. Say we are becoming the hotspot.
Okay. Well, now in the spirit of that, we're going to jump right into our main event now. So, I want to hear about something you do and or something you consume that has no purpose other than to bring you joy. Like it can be even unrelated to art or media. One could be just like a thing you do in real life space, an experience you like to have, something that's just about being awesome and satisfying. I would also like to get another example from you guys that is art or media related, something that either you make yourself or something that you consume, and its only purpose is not to achieve something great or hit like a lofty artistic goal, but to just hit that joy button. Now, I'm not talking about guilty pleasures because really here, there's no consideration about whether guilt comes into it or not, because I feel like pure joy is just unreserved and unembarrassed, and it just loves what it loves. So those things that really kind of just fill the joy tank that we have. And normally, I feel like the host would go at the end, but this is an unusual and perhaps a bit of a nebulous topic. So I thought it might serve if I went first as an example of kind of what I mean, or at
Excellent.
least how I applied this to myself.
I'll allow it.
And then it's totally up. Oh, good. Thank you, Judge. And then it's totally up to you guys how you apply this to yourself and what you share. But I thought at least giving a couple examples might not be a bad idea. I'm going to start myself with the kind of real life, non-artistic thing. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast. I love fast cars.
Whoa.
I love driving cars that bring me joy every time I sit in them, whether I'm going on a road trip or going to the grocery store or anything in between. I love cars that I put the pedal down and I get shoved back in my seat, or I take a sharp curve and I hit an apex just right and you get that pure exhilaration. And there's always a piece of me that goes back to that feeling of freedom when you bought your first car, kind of hit the road on your own, and it's that pure joy, like that feeling of possibility and exhilaration. A little piece of that always comes back. And so that's kind of like the real life thing that I love is just a good, fun performance car. And it's completely like out of your head and everything. You're just completely in your body and enjoying the moment. And you have to be like wholly focused on that. And I really am a fan of fast cars.
Okay. And yet you live in one of the worst traffic cities in the entire country.
Oh, I find moments. There are moments here, yeah, and roads where it's short trips at a time, but and then I do have occasions where I'm outside the city a little bit and can enjoy those too. But anyway, so that's my kind of real life thing. My media thing. When I was 20, a movie came out and I went with a friend to see it. This movie bombed horribly at the box office.
I love it already.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw it on opening weekend, it was me and my friend and 3 other people in the theater, maybe. And to this day, there is no movie that I have laughed harder at on first viewing. And since that day, it has joined the pantheon of my favorite stupid, ridiculous, largely insane movies that I will still quote from this day and that I still get a pop of joy every time someone else quotes it. I am, of course, referring to Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Wow. I might have been one of the other people in that theater because I had a very similar experience watching that movie.
I feel like I almost passed out a couple of times. I was like laughing so hard. It was one of the few that there was a point I was out of the chair down on one knee laughing so hard. I'd never seen anything like it. I went in it not knowing what to expect. And it was just my chest was sore when I left the theater. And that pure feeling of like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I love it much and I can't stop laughing at it, was just the greatest. And every time I watch bits of it now, I go back to that moment and I love it just as much. There is, I mean, are you going to look at that and be like, oh, there's real artistic merit to that movie? No, it is a dumb piece of fluff that is just pure hilarious joy, and I love it. And those are my two examples of like, for me, of like, yeah, those are just in my life for pure joy and love.
If there was a list of movies I could have imagined you picking, that movie would not have been on it. I don't think I've seen it. I remember someone talking about it, but it is like vapor in my head. So I'm gonna have to study it.
Have you watched it recently, Dalton? Like I have not watched it in many, many years.
I will periodically get the bug, and I'll go on YouTube and I'll pull up my favorite clips and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it is one of those things where I cannot believe they were able to convince someone to give them money to make it.
Yeah.
Like it's such a labor of love, and it's so stupid and so badly done, but done with such love, and it's just out there just to entertain. There are no life lessons.
No.
There's no bigger picture. There's no, liar, liar scene at the end where it's like, this is what it's all about. No, I mean, it's literally a guy has a kung fu fight with a cow. I mean, it is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. So, Pete, I guess, I don't know if you know the concept. Yeah. This guy took, it was 2 or 3 different kung fu movies, old like kung fu movies from the 70s, stitched them together and green screened himself into the movies and overdubbed every voice himself. And so, yeah. And
this was a major studio release.
This was in theater.
Wow.
This wasn't like a YouTube thing someone did. Like there was a marketing budget. Like there were meetings that happened.
And the voices he gives people and the ridiculous things he makes them say are so like, I'll give you one example of how dumb it is. So there's a point, where these movies are stitched together like poorly on purpose. So there's a point, they're showing one side character and he's in black clothes. And then the next time you see him a few seconds later, his clothes are red. And to make that work, the bad guy in between those says, I am a powerful magician. Your clothes are red. The guy in the next scene goes, wow, that's some trick.
There's certain words that come along that sort of like you hear someone saying and it's stuck in your head forever. And so I cannot see the word Neosporin without thinking of Kung Pao Into the Fist and the Neosporin song that they sing in that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably building it up too much. It's one of those.
Believe me, this is not us saying like this is going to change your life. Like you're going to watch it and go, really?
Yeah, it is so dumb,
so stupid,
and I love it so much.
Beautifully, wonderfully stupid.
I'm looking at it. This is Steve Odekirk, who we know from doing other things that don't involve stitching together other movies.
Yes,
like he is a prolific contributor to Hollywood.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
great movies.
He did the Thumb movies,
which are Thumb Wars,
which are a very, very similar type of dumb that I love.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never seen Thumb Wars, it is hilarious.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a talented guy who like has put his immense talent into doing these ridiculous things, and I love that.
Yeah. Excellent.
I'm
down for it.
Yeah. So, how about you next, Pete?
Well, I'm a little bit bummed because I came not knowing what my spark joy segment was going to be, and then right before we started talking, I figured it out, and then you stole it. And so I'm going to say it anyway because it's a little different. I guess, I don't know if I'm late or where I am on the bubble, but I also love driving. I've loved driving from the very beginning. And
nice, me too.
And it's an spirit of exhilaration and fun. And again, I love all the things you said, endorsed. And then I got an electric car, and it's a speedy electric car. And I now it's like I drive for fun again after years of driving carpools and driving this car. When you put the pedal down, the torque is immediate and explosive. And I have never had fun driving like I've had with this car. And this comes at the right season, too, for me as a car lover, because F1 just started this season again. And I am a huge F1 fan. And so I have been putting on my headset and watching the races. The first race was last week. I had a blast. It feels like, I don't know, I just like watching. It is a completely... I don't know why I love this sport. It is a complete exercise of massive capitalism and a porn. Like, let's just see how much money we can spend for what purpose. It is destructive. It is hugely consequential environmentally, and yet I am here for it. I love it so much. I could watch it all day. Now, Ryan, here's the thing I wanted to tell you, though, real quick. I have found the best website in the world, which I hope you will find as just absolutely entrancing as I have. That website is called autocatalogarchive.com.
Ooh, I will type it in now.
When you visit autocatalogarchive.com, you are met with just a very basic page. It says, here are the new arrivals. Here are some things that you could look at, but mostly you click on the brand index and you say, what car do I want to look for? For me, let's say it was the Saab 900 Turbo. So I click on Saab and I visit the 900 Turbo era in the late 80s, early 90s, and I find the manuals to my first car.
Wow.
It is so great. You get all the specific
Meanwhile,
specs.
just when Pete and Ryan were getting insufferably boring about car nonsense,
Here's some things that I do. Honestly, it was very hard to think of things that don't have to do with art and media because I'm a workaholic. Maybe that is the thing that brings me joy, is that I'm obsessed with, television and film and podcasts and, everything. But there are a lot of things I realize that I do because I think my whole job is to have joy. It's not easy because I'm a moody person. I have a lot of emotions, but things that bring me joy that make no sense, that are just flippin' crazy. Okay. Well, okay. This actually does make sense. I do weird things like decide to look up a recipe and I make homemade things, right? I've never done this before in my life. This is a new trend, but I'm super into this whole don't make waste in the world if you can avoid it. And and also I like to save $1. So I get this sick little thrill out of making my own homemade hummus and homemade granola. And guess what else I did? Yeah, okay. There was a really powerful solar eclipse. I don't know which eclipse it was, but it was an eclipse and it was very powerful. And it was happening in March, which is the third month, and it was happening at 11:33 a.m. my time. Anyway, I put water outside in a jar and I turned it into eclipse water because it absorbed the energy of the eclipse. And then what you do is you can cast a spell and get rid of obstacles in your life by writing it down on a piece of paper and then soaking it in the eclipse water and then taking that paper that's dissolved now and putting it at a crossroads to give all the obstacles someplace to go. So I'm really embarrassed to even say that because I'm sure that these three guys also did something like that this week. And I feel weird that I'm not original, but that's one of the things I did.
I think they're just about
On
done.
the sound of X-Wings and TIE fighters.
There you go.
And
Nice.
that's what my car sounds like. I have been dreaming from 6 years old. Please, somebody get rid of this obnoxious rumble and make my car sound like a TIE fighter.
Okay, so we got your car thing. Did we hear another thing from you? Okay.
I didn't do the other thing. Okay. Well, this thing just came out yesterday, and I guess it's related to media. It's a book, so it's media. David Pogue has spent the last 2 years writing a book about Apple, and it is an audacious effort. now I should say, to set the table, I am a big Apple fan. I love Apple products. I love the company. It has lots of splinters, and there are lots of things to be critical of. But in general, I feel like it's a company that's worth studying for many, many reasons. So David wrote this book called Apple, The First 50 Years. On April 1st will be the 50th birthday of the company. And this book is a stunning achievement. First of all, it's 600 pages. It walks through the beginning to the present. I mean, it feels like he finished writing it last Tuesday. It's so current. Second, it's in color. The whole thing is color. So all of the photos are rich and beautiful. It's a 608-page book in color, you guys. This is not a cheap experience to read. It is
or to print.
Incredible.
Yeah.
To print. I have already learned things. As a student of Apple for the last, 25 years, I have already learned things that I thought I knew and have totally debunked. It is an incredibly thorough, clearly loving, and yet, critical where appropriate look into this company. And I am here for it. It's a book. I've read a lot of biographies. I've read a lot of corporate manifestos. I've read a lot of these kinds of books. And this one feels different. I think David Pogue is a unique kind of journalist to be positioned to write this kind of book. And it's pretty special. I just love it because of the role that Apple has had on my career. I would not have my career if it were not for Apple products 25 years ago. Bar none. I'd be in a different place.
It's a beautiful cover, too.
So,
It looks like it would be at home on a really nice coffee table or something.
It is. It would
if only
certainly.
you're someone who was good at woodworking to make a coffee table.
Yeah, your next thing is to
book.
make a table to put that book on.
I actually made a bowl. Have I mentioned the bowl? I put the book on the bowl.
Oh, you put
Does
the book
that
on the
count?
bowl.
I put the
But
book
you're
on the
saying
bowl.
you made that. Okay, wow.
I just thought this was the start of a Dr. Seuss book. He put the bowl, and he put the book on the bowl.
Yeah. So I love it. I love it. I'm reading it with the enthusiasm of a golden retriever that just heard the word walk. Like I am really devouring this thing. So
I had a similar
There you
experience
go.
when I read the MCU book that came out, the sort of the warts and all look at it too, where I'm like, yeah, I feel like I know the story. And then you read and go, oh, there's a lot I didn't know.
Side note, just a little tech nerd moment. I feel like the MacBook Neo is about to drop a bomb on the affordable laptop market.
100%. Like as in being in higher education, having people purchase it, I can tell you, I am going to be recommending that to everyone.
Yes.
Well, and you know, I loved it because I have had plenty over the years of writers that are like, hey, can you recommend me something? And I have a budget of like, under $1,000, and I would really want to say like the MacBook Air, but unless you got them, used or refurbished or something, they were always just over that. But now, like if there's a writer that's looking just for a machine that's good for making their stuff, man, this is for you.
Yeah, I had a sort of a budding playwright. She's a newbie. Come in and say like, "Oh, what do I do? What do I use?" And I sort of did some generic stuff. She's like, "Oh, I have a Mac." And I'm like, "Oh, thank goodness. Okay, now we can have a whole different conversation because I can get you put." And that might be a topic for further down the line here. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what that is because it puts a really stable operating system and a lot of new cool programs into people's hands for a lot cheaper.
Absolutely. They can print those A chips like candy, so they can make those all day. Yeah. Anyway, so moving on. Pete, does that wrap up your joy button things you want to share?
I think it does. I think that satisfies my joy button.
Bowl full of joy.
So we move on to Kyle now.
All right. So March is always an interesting time. That's when we're recording this. You might be listening in the far future or the past. If so, tell us how things turn out. But this time it always is a theater season sort of in the family because this is when all of the shows for the high schools and elementary schools all seem to happen at the same time. Like my nephew was in theater, he's now graduating college. My daughter and my niece are both seniors, so this will be the last time. And then my youngest is now getting into theater. So all of them are always happening at the same time. So in the course of a week, it's like the opening night and closing night of one person show, then the next, then the next. They're all stacked on top of each other. So as I'm recording this, in a couple of days, it'll be Into the Woods at my niece's school, and they have a very well-supported theater program. So like I know that always at the end of it, that people actually put money into it, as opposed to we're going to hang up some sheets in the gym and do that. But what I love about this is the ultimate in starting out in theater. This is the base level amateurs. There are people on there who are like, you see them and go, that person has they have star power, they have the thing, like they're going to go places. And you see people who will never be on stage again, and sometimes for the good, but other times it's like this is like the great democratization of theater, is that like for however many, for 4 months, my daughter went and learned how to be a Winky in Wizard of Oz, and then got her first line on stage this time. So like there's Proud Papa stuff, but more what I'm going for in this is that it is this beautiful thing of just the pure theater, because you can literally see the paint on the walls, and like that's somebody's jacket that they borrowed for that, but you're still in Oz, like you still have that thing of like you're going there. Or for Zoe, she's the stage manager, and it was Newsies, so it's like a bunch of people seizing the day and striking back against the corporate overlords and sticking it to Pulitzer. But it is such a fun experience, and I've learned that as we're talking about Kung Pao, the weird things that like make you laugh, and you know that I found that there's nothing that makes me laugh harder in those situations than a line delivered absolutely flat. And it absolutely destroys me, and I have to be like, I'm the only one in the theater laughing, but like I can't, I'm a big laugher, I can't help but do it. So we one of the performers, like there's their one line, and they went, you can't go in there, and they're like, no, we need to see the wizard. Oh, in that case, go ahead. And it was like,
Yeah.
it was like, yes. It was beautiful. It was absolutely perfect, because it was like no tone, no inflection. They weren't, and so I'm not calling out, I'm not trying to be funny, but like whatever that is, like, God, I wish I could write that to say like, don't put any inflection, nothing, just absolutely flat. And it was hilarious to me. There's you're watching people deliver a line from like the 1930s and like find a new way to put a spin on it is great, but that just pure amateur, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
nice.
So that's
still
been fun.
We've got I'm out of the circuit of the high school circuit now.
Mm-hmm.
The kids have aged out, and I just hearing you talk about it, I really regret it, because I remember those kids who are going places.
Yeah.
Like, they're going places. Yeah. And I just reminds me, where did they go? I would like to follow them, but not in a weird way.
Right. Yeah, I've had that even when I talked about 20,000 Leagues a number of times. Our lead actress for that ended up going to New York and went to like the school, like went to the Tisch school. I'm keep hoping to hear that because like from day one, like when she was like 17 and she did her audition, and I was like, oh boy. Like, like, wow. Yeah. Like you're at 17, you're at this level already. Like, I cannot wait to see what I go from there. But yeah, even in some of the shows today, there was a whole line of kids, and they're all working so hard, and they're singing and they're dancing and stuff too. And like the one person came out, and like, it was like the audience just went whoop. And was like, who's that? And it's that indefinable thing. Like, you just like, for whatever reason, people have that star power.
You can't teach it. It's there or not.
Yeah, exactly.
My son, I think, was in, I don't know, he's already a junior, and we went to see their performance of Matilda at the high school.
Oh, yeah.
And the young woman who came out and played Matilda was one of those people that by the end of the show, you realize, oh, I liked her better than the movie Matilda.
Right.
Like, just the new movie.
Yeah.
She was that good, and she was a freshman that year. Like, how just being able to capture that sort of lightning in a bottle and showcase these people who are gonna be stars is really special.
Yeah.
Yay, arts.
Yeah, exactly. Yay for arts. Yeah, and I'd say that's what I would say to anybody who's like interested in stuff. Around you are not only elementary schools, which are like, I'm like, okay, I understand you, but I probably don't want to go see a version of Matilda done by 10-year-olds. I get it.
Yeah.
But
high
school shows,
don't sleep on high school.
College shows that are being done that are you're going to see some stuff you've never seen before, and you're going to see sort of talent on the rise. It really is inspiring to sort of see. And I had the same experience. I watched a show at a college, Peter and the Starcatcher, and the person who was Blackstash was a woman, like usually that's traditionally played by a man, and was so unbelievable. I've seen multiple versions. I even saw like clips of the Broadway show, and I was like, she was better. Like,
wow,
just blew the curve for me entirely of like, and she won an award for it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So glad. So I hope, once again, I hope she's also having a great career. So and when you get shift into media stuff, even though that was sort of a little bit overlap, this is, I suffer essentially from the recency bias, because it's sort of what's top of mind right now. And for me, it's One Piece. One Piece was a show I was sort of vaguely aware of just in the culture, but never watched the anime. And then the live action came out and absolutely blew me away. I was so invested in the entire thing. And then as the second season was then coming around, I was like, I want to watch that again, see if I have the same reaction. And I had the same reaction. I was like, nice. This is like built for me. This is exactly what I want. And there's not only is it like a lot of money spent on it, which, kudos to Netflix for actually like building the real set. I mean, when they go to the restaurant that is a ship, they built it. It's 2 stories tall, and like everyone is actually there. They built the ship. Like they actually made real sets and stuff too. It's not, as much as I understand why they have the volume, there is something to be said about having a camera flying through a giant room in an action scene, and that those are real walls, those are real stairs. It's really happening. And so watching it again, I just got caught up in that thing again of Muggy D. Luffy, like this kid who's like just has a dream. It's a ridiculous dream that could never be achieved, but he's so pure of heart in like, I'm going to do this, that all these dark, cynical people around him get caught up in this wake. I think I'm like, oh, this is Ted Lasso with Kung Fu.
Oh, that's a great way to describe it.
Like, Luffy is just so like, hey, like, I'm like, oh, what's your dream? Well, we're going to help you with that too. Like, and you go, what? This little bendy kid, what are you talking about? And the assembling of the crew, that's which one of my favorite tropes into the found family. I was thinking like, was it one of those that you sort of pass it by and you go, yeah, I enjoyed that. But no, I went back and go, oh, I think this may be one of my favorite shows of all time. And I've been telling it to everybody going, no, I think you absolutely, like everyone I talk to, I'm like, no, you absolutely need to watch it. It is so much better than any other live action anime. Like for all the hype that the live action Avatar Last Airbender is getting, which it does not deserve. This show, I know that there's a heartbreak coming because that show is like 22 seasons they've already done the anime and it's still not done. There's no way Netflix is ever going to do the whole story. So I'm just trying to enjoy what we have. And then, the second season has dropped at time of recording, and I'm working my way through that. And so far, it already is fantastic. Every one of those characters, I am like invested. I'm like, it makes me feel like I felt when Buffy was on.
Well, I think you've convinced me to watch it.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. And you'll know by the first episode if it's for you or not, because like it like throws down the gauntlet right away of like, this is a weird world that plays by its own rules. Get on board.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I now again it was something to.
Yeah, and it's what I needed right now too, of like just a kid with a dream fighting their way through it and pulling people together. Like, yeah, that's the story I need to hear.
Perfect.
Yeah, my daughter practices pop songs, and I like to make up fake lyrics to them and sing over the song that she's trying to sing. That's a really good one. Did I say the thing about leaving voice memos for people? Yep, I do that. I'm learning that if you compliment the hell out of people, remind them how freaking smart and funny and talented and handsome and beautiful they are, because really, they are. Just take a second look. Trust me on this one. And that's been pretty great, because you got to lift up the good people so you're not focusing on all the bad people. That's a good thing. And the new latest joy in my life, aside from maybe, God, Ryan Gosling is a movie star. Yeah, and I got to see that astronaut movie. I have notes, but not on him. I swear to God, he sat there on that screen and looks at that scientist woman. And I turned to Patrick and I said, we've never looked at each other, period. Not looked at each other like that. I just looked at him looking at her and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a human being look at me that way or look at anyone that way. That's Ryan Gosling. That's actually pretty great. But no, there's a guy on Instagram. I think he lives in London, which was a very happy shock to me. Gay as the day is long. Literally a model. I think he models Italian clothing. And he is just delightful. He's on Instagram. And I never, ever, ever am on Instagram. But if I ever go to Instagram, I swear to God, I'm going to go look at Sam Salter. Because he dances and does these funny little things. And he's just handsome to look at. So yeah, all the handsome has been coming up lately. Handsome like these three co-hosts of mine. Am I right? Yeah, thanks guys for having me. Don't wait up. I'm good. Just keep going on with the show. It's all good.
I think that's a good spot for our next ad.
Just wanted to say thanks for giving us your attention. Brevity. Thanks for your time.
I think that was even shorter.
Very on
It was
brand.
even shorter. Yeah.
They clearly live their own values.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
thanks, Brevity. Sorry, I even took one word out of my thing.
Yeah. For our final segment, I wanted to share a short story that I love that we are also going to turn into a dramatic reading.
Ooh.
So I need at least one of you or maybe both. So would one or both of you would like to volunteer?
Is this for a part or for narration? What are we casting for?
This is pure dialogue. It is two characters talking.
There's no audition, right? Because I'm offer only.
Well, consider this the offer to whoever wants it or not.
Well, in the spirit of Newsies, now is the time to seize the day. So
Okay.
I volunteer as tribute.
Okay. So Pete, no pressure either way. You can either volunteer or sit back and watch.
I'll sit back and watch. I'm gonna take a bye week. I'm excited.
Okay. So I'll share a link in our chat in just a second. So in 1991, a science fiction short story was published, and it was told entirely through dialogue between two characters. There's no setting or description or anything like that. It's just two people talking. And people still talk about it to this day. And I just always get a lot of joy out of reading and thinking about it. The story is called They're Made Out of Meat. They're made out of meat.
Meat?
Meat. They're made out of meat.
Meat.
There's no doubt about it. We picked up several from different parts of the planet, took them aboard our recon vessels and probed them all the way through. They're completely meat.
That's impossible. What about the radio signals, the messages to the stars?
They use the radio waves to talk, but the signals don't come from them. The signals come from machines.
So who made the machines? That's who we want to contact.
They made the machines. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Meat made the machines.
That's ridiculous. How can meat make a machine? You're asking me to believe in sentient meat?
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. These creatures are the only sentient race in that sector, and they're made out of meat.
Maybe they're like the Orphalai, a carbon-based intelligence that goes through a meat stage.
Nope. They are born meat, and they die meat. We studied them for several of their lifespans, which didn't take long. Do you have any idea what's the lifespan of meat?
Spare me. Okay, maybe they're only part meat. Like the Weddellai, a meat head with an electron plasma brain inside.
Nope, we thought of that. since they do have meat heads like the Weddeli, but I told you we probed them. They're meat all the way through.
No brain?
Oh, there's a brain, all right. It's just the brain is made out of meat. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
So what does the thinking?
You're not understanding, are you? You're refusing to deal with what I'm telling you. The brain does the thinking. The meat.
Thinking meat. You're asking me to believe in thinking meat.
Yes, thinking meat. Conscious meat, loving meat, dreaming meat. The meat is the whole deal. Are you beginning to get the picture, or do I have to start all over?
Oh my God. You're serious then? They're made out of meat.
Thank you, finally. Yes, they are indeed made out of meat. And they've been trying to get in touch with us for almost 100 of their years.
Oh my God. So what does this meat have in mind?
First, it wants to talk to us. Then I imagine it wants to explore the universe, contact other sentients, swap ideas and information, the usual.
We're supposed to talk to meat?
That's the idea. That's the message they're sending out by radio. Hello, anyone out there? Anybody home? That sort of thing.
They actually do talk then. They use words, ideas, concepts.
Oh, yes, except they do it with meat.
I thought you just told me they used radio.
Oh, they do, but what do you think is on the radio? Meat sounds. You know how when you slap or flap meat, it makes a noise? They talk by flapping their meat at each other. They can even sing by squirting air through their meat.
Oh my God, singing meat? This is altogether too much. So what do you advise?
Officially or unofficially?
Both.
Officially, we are required to contact, welcome, and log in any and all sentient races or multi-beings in this quadrant of the universe without prejudice, fear, or favor. Unofficially, I advise that we erase the records and forget the whole thing.
Oh, I was hoping you would say that.
I mean, it seems harsh, but there is a limit. Do we really want to make contact with meat?
I agree 100%. What's there to say? Hello, meat. How's it going? But will this work? How many planets are we dealing with here?
Just one. They can travel to other planets in special meat containers, but they can't live on them. And being meat, they can only travel through sea space, which limits them to the speed of light and makes the possibility of their ever making contact pretty slim. I mean, infinitesimal, in fact.
So we just pretend there's no one home in the universe.
That's it.
Cruel. But you said it yourself. Who wants to meet meat? And the ones who have been aboard our vessels, the ones you probed, you're sure they won't remember?
They'll be considered crackpots if they do. We went into their heads and smoothed out their meat so that we're just a dream to them.
A dream to meat. How strangely appropriate that we should be meat's dream.
And we marked the entire sector unoccupied.
Good. Agreed, officially and unofficially. Case closed. Any others? Anyone interesting on that side of the galaxy?
Yes, a rather shy but sweet hydrogen core cluster intelligence in a class 9 star in the G45 zone. Was in contact 2 galactic rotations ago. Wants to be friendly again.
They always come around.
And why not? Imagine how unbearably, how unutterably cold the universe would be if one were all alone.
That was outstanding. God, it makes humanity so gross.
Yeah.
The flapping meat.
I love it for the point of view. I love it for how ridiculous it is, even though it's only describing true things about us. I love that it tells you, it builds a world and tells you so much while showing you nothing. It's just from a craft perspective and also just for a pure joy perspective. I love that.
Also,
story.
that they made an alien assessment of our biology a who's on first riff.
Essentially, yeah.
Outstanding.
You want us to meet meat? That's really good.
Yeah. Really good.
So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and credit. What is?
Terry Bisson.
Terry Bisson. Thank you.
Bisson. Okay.
Yeah, and it's one of those that just, every once in a while it's going to pop up or someone will bring it up. And now when you hear the reference, you'll know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and when I use the reference, you know what I'm talking about.
They're made out of meat?
I'd like to meet meat.
I bet
they
Douglas
flap
Adams
their
would have that
meat?
too. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening with us, and we're going to leave you with this. Wherever villainy rears its great big head, wherever evil sets its ill-smelling foot, you will find craft and chaos. May evil beware, and may good dress warmly and eat plenty of fresh vegetables.
Spoon!
Nice.
That's a wrap on Craft and Chaos. What a great show. I mean, not, right? Like, couldn't have been as great of a show. I'll be back next time.